Welcome to Zen Supermom, the interview series that helps you create more calm and peace in your life. I'm your host, Elena Gomez Rodriguez, and today I'm with a woman who helped me fall in love with yoga, who introduced the meditation to me. I was never able to meditate before. She is the founder of Strala Yoga. She is known by millions as the rebel yogini, as a best-selling author, as a wellness expert, and she's a mom of a beautiful daughter, Daisy. So unless you guessed it already, welcome, Tara Stiles.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to chat about all things mom and everything else that comes up. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your gift of time and presence with us, because we have really important topic to dive in. For me, you're the perfect super mom, and you were the perfect superwoman even before you became a mom. But what I love most about you, and I guess like all those millions of other people as well around the world who are in your space, is how real you are and how relatable you are, how you show us even what's going on behind the scenes with you, that not everything is perfect and it's okay. And that's why I think you're the perfectly imperfect guest for this interview. So how about we start in your motherhood story? Like, how was it for you to become a mom? Like, did you freak out as well, like most of us did, or?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we were just joking a little bit before, but I thought I had this idea because, you know, I do yoga and we have a pretty simple life. You know, Mike, my husband, is able to be here. It's not like somebody's going off on the 9 to 5 and, you know, we have a pretty flexible structure. So I just thought I would kind of, you know, squeeze the baby out in a yoga squat and, you know, come home and everything would be fine, you know, but I think for probably most people, that's not how it is. It definitely wasn't for me. And Mike and I waited a longer time to have a little one. In the beginning, when I first met him, you know, I think like all moms, we decide when we're going to do this, or maybe we don't decide, but I wanted to wait till I did a lot of things for myself. And I felt like I had a lot of things inside that I needed to do that wouldn't be quite fair if I had a little one hanging around. So I did that for a while. And when we decided to try to, you know, bring Daisy into the world, we just thought, okay, this will be easy. We've totally got this. But we both kind of completely panicked, you know, during the birth, after the birth, coming home. You know, I think Mike went on the gear round. You know, we went from very simple, you know, not proclaimed minimalist or anything like that, but he was all of a sudden ordering all of these things that we thought that we needed, that we didn't probably need so much, just to make us feel better, you know, and I was, you know, trying to play the classical music and do all of these things. And finally we just kind of, I don't know how long it took, but, you know, we relaxed a little bit and enjoy her and enjoy figuring it out together. And I think especially in those first few weeks and months, I mean, everybody has their own challenges. You know, she was losing weight and it was really challenging, especially with my super hippie, you know, kind of wellness friends being anti giving any formula. And I'm like, if I don't give her any formula, I think she might die. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like mixing between breastfeeding and formula, and then the guilt and from doing that from other voices. And that all was so foreign to me. I was super used to, you know, feeling confident and feeling in my center and feeling calm, you know, because I can control myself, you know, and I can control a yoga class and I can have space in there for other people's issues to come to me and talk about them. And, oh, you know, I have some nice advice and I'm ready to listen and share whatever's happening, you know, with people that I normally help. So having this new person, and you know how it feels, that they were inside of you, they're a part of you, now they're here. And, you know, I didn't want to put her down. I still don't even want to put her down. There's that kind of feeling. So it's been a challenge for sure, but definitely one that part of it has been unexpected, and but also, you know, a task to navigate as well. Otherwise I'll just, you know, lose it. So super important.
Yeah, and you mentioned the important aspect of control, like suddenly things are feeling out of control, which I think like we all go through that stage. But then what I also had to fight with for a long time was the feeling of boundaries. Like I was always able to control my boundaries as well, like how much I give and how much I want to get back. But with my daughter, which I think is only a few months younger than Daisy, wow, I realized like balancing that unconditional love, but still having my boundaries for what I need as a mom. Like, how did you go about that?
Oh gosh. Well, I think my boundaries got completely messed up. I mean, even other mom friends in New York at that time were saying, "Oh, come out to dinner." And I'm like, I'm never going out to dinner again. You know, I can't leave her here with Mike or with a babysitter and go out to dinner because I will be physically, you know, having a problem with that for so long. So I think, you know, for me, it was that over attachment, even now, you know, and she's, you know, same age as yours. They're little and they need you and they can't just go off and have their day on their own yet. So for me, there's this, you know, almost extreme worry about keeping her safe and making sure she's okay. But then realizing, because I know better from, you know, just common sense life stuff and also yoga, that's me kind of, you know, hovering in this position. And even my kind of upper middle back hurts all the time when I do yoga. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I need to constantly look at my bad habit of, you know, trying to make sure she's okay and then pull back a little bit and realize I can protect her without smushing myself. And then I have a healthier boundary to do all the things that I want to do, because I still do all of the things, but when we're together, it's like, whoosh, you know? So it's always, for me, at least, it's always a big boundary challenge as well. Just kind of figuring that constant dance out and, you know, trying not to, you know, lose ourselves in the process, for sure. I don't think it's easy. I'm kind of suspicious when somebody, you know, says, oh, yeah, it's just so blissful and everything's fine. You know?
And here's the one easy tip that will change it all and you will never struggle with this ever again. Yeah, exactly. I love that, because I remember how I was feeling. So I was lucky enough to breastfeed, but for a long time, which I had to fight the judgments of that. But it got into my shoulders. Indeed, I was like hunched over, like the hunch from the Notre Dame. So I had to work with that as well. I'm just thinking here, for the moms who are, let's say it how it is, perfectionists. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be great at so many things. Like we are, before having kids, we already try to be great at work or business, like whatever our passion is. We try to look great. We try to do our exercise and eat clean and do all those things, like check in the box. And then babies come and there's this like a huge thing to do on top always. So how did you go about all that stress of doing it all and feeling like you never have enough time? Like, did you get to that place or did you breeze through it?
Oh, I didn't breeze. I'm still not breezing through anything. I think the interesting thing is, you know, I mean, thank you for creating this conversation for so many moms, is just having the awareness about the bad habit that you're doing. And we all have different bad habits and some of them are familiar. So we can go, oh, I do that too, you know, or I do the opposite of that. But I think, you know, bringing awareness to that. So when you're doing that thing, you have a choice. Okay, I'm doing the thing again. Can I pull myself out a little bit, take care of myself a little bit, and then feel better? So I think for me, knowing that through yoga really has been maybe my one through line that has helped me kind of stay sane, because I know that I need to take care of myself first. Otherwise, she's not going to feel good. I'm not going to come up with good ideas for us to organize life and things like that. Even when she was a little baby, you know, I knew enough about body position and yoga. If I stay connected to myself and then scoop her up from there, she's going to be more happy with that than if I just kind of say, are you okay? And I kind of pick her up, more tentative, asking if the situation is okay. So, you know, I know that through yoga, but again, it's really hard to kind of override that habit of trying to do the thing without connecting to yourself first. So I think for me, and it sounds silly, but it doesn't have to be get down on the ground and do yoga, but really just taking that time for yourself before the little one wakes up or after they go to bed, or, I think for me, it doesn't make sense at all, do things when the baby's napping, it's like, what?
Yeah.
So I won't even go there. I won't even like annoy people by saying that. I was never like, that you never know when they're going to wake up. You can't plan anything. They're usually just on you, connected to you somehow during that time. So I really know that simple practice of doing something to take care of yourself, and then keeping that habit going when you're with them. So it's not battery running out the whole time until you get back to that self-care time. So, if you're with them and playing with the toys or whatever, you can still get down to the ground, take a breath. And I've just found that, it works just like a yoga class. I don't need to tell her to relax. If I'm calm, she's going to be probably more calm. And if she's flipping out, it's going to be less dramatic, or I'm going to react less dramatically, and that'll be pretty good. So
I love that. Yeah, because they absorb our emotional state, right? It's a survival instinct for them to tune into the emotions and vibrational level of the person that takes care of them. So this is beautiful. And it's something that is not natural. We always want to smile or put on the face, our facade that we are used to putting out for all the others, like, yeah, everything is great. But the kids, they can feel it if it's really true or not. It's so crazy. I love that. And it's perfect because this is also one of the things that I always loved about you. Even during your yoga classes, you're always reminding us, like, soften and feel into where there's space and go there, like move in the space. And this was such a relief for me as a perfectionist already back then. I was always trying to get all the yoga poses like right and the right angle and the right turns. And with you, it was more about like feel into it today and see where there's space and what your body is telling you. And so I love what you're saying now, that you keep doing that, not only in your yoga, but also with Daisy, which is fantastic.
Well, I think the neat thing about knowing that, even I would say that, I mean, you get it, you do it, you understand it. But if I just say that to somebody, they think that it's a trick. Oh, you're telling me to relax. I'm not going to get as much done. But I know, and if people just give it a chance to try it out and experience, that's the way to get more done, because you're not using extra energy on stress, and you're not using extra energy on literally flailing around, whether you're doing yoga and you're kind of trying to hold something together, or you're doing yoga and you're just being in the position. And then you realize, okay, I actually can do this. Then I can do the next thing, and then I can do the next thing. And everything starts to work a whole lot better. And I know that about the kind of universal law that works in yoga, but it works kind of everywhere as well. So whenever I see myself, with the rigid and the tense, because it's in all of us, I definitely need to soften myself. So that's why I do it all the time. I share it. It's sort of, we share the thing that we need ourselves, but we also kind of look around and say, oh, it's kind of corny, but if we all just softened a little bit, so much better. Things work so much better.
Perfect. I'm curious, are there any lessons that you kind of feel like Daisy taught you? Anything like you're grateful to her? Because I hear it from so many moms who are raising like their level of consciousness and their relationship with their kids. There are so many beautiful stories or in ways in which the kids can actually teach us something about ourselves. Like can you think back, what was your biggest like aha moment that Daisy gave you?
Oh gosh, I think every day, but especially as she, gets bigger and more active, she's similar to me, but obviously her own person as well. And the things that she gravitates towards are the things that are challenging for me. So she loves endurance and running. And I just would be happy hanging out with you in Paris, sitting on your living room and stretching a little side to side, doing a little bit of yoga and then talking about it. But she is, out the door and running a mile. So that's such a challenge for me to just keep up with her and keep her safe so she doesn't get run over by a car right now. But also just that attitude of kind of get up and go and full on energy. And, it's kind of interesting because it's the thing that if I did more of would balance me more out, but I would never just do that on my own if there wasn't some sort of, whether it's a doctor's note or somebody saying you really should do some more endurance activity. I'm never going to do that. So with her, I'm kind of, forced to do that in a way. And then I start thinking about that. I think, oh, this is actually pretty good for me. Like I'm a little bit, thinking a little bit differently that she's running and I have to go run after her. It's also nice for me because, I also thought she's just going to be exactly like me.
Yeah.
Love all the things I love to do. She's going to be happy just to, come over to people's houses and sit on the ground and, hang around and drink coffee and tea and go out for croissants. She loves croissants though, by the way, and she loves Paris. So I'm happy.
You have to come. You have to come.
So we do have a lot in common, which I think is really cool. But I think just being her own person, even as a baby, even as a toddler, that's a big lesson, I think, as well.
It's beautiful. You are lucky you got that lesson so late. I got it the moment she was born. She doesn't look anything like me, my daughter, because we are a mixed race marriage. She's completely she looks like my husband. She has nothing from me. He tries to tell me, no, she has like your eyes, like, no, forget it. But that's okay. This is, exactly. So that was my lesson also on, this little person is going to be somebody completely different than like in my naive dreams that I was picturing with her. And I think it's good. That way it's better. Cool. Now, for the moms who are listening to us, who would really love to create more calm and peace in their life. There might be too much drama or stress going on. They feel like the kids are pushing their buttons exactly where they shouldn't. They are testing their patience and limits. What would be your suggestion or invitation for them? What is something they can try?
Oh gosh. Well, I think it's definitely important for me to remind myself, and also just the more I meet other people in the same boat, that so much of this is not our fault. We can't control. It's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's our job to keep them safe and have their best interest in mind. And that's kind of what I've learned to, keep her safe, have her best interest in mind, because, she drives me bonkers too. She's in this mode of wanting to play and act out and, really wanting to do what she wants to do all of the time. We all are like that. But when you're a little kid, you don't have that filter of, oh, I should just sit here right now, even though I don't want to. I should be doing this, even though I don't want to. So, I kind of have to respect that in a certain way. But, again, for me, it really comes down to taking that time for myself every day, doing my own physical practice every day, getting down to the ground, softening, taking a few breaths, moving in a way that feels useful for me. If my back's tight from hovering over her, or if my hips are tight from sitting in the car, making sure we're going to all the museums so she sees everything, whatever the out of balance thing that I'm doing or that people are doing, it's sort of, making sure that you don't just keep doing that until you completely break down, until you reach burnout, because there's no way you can react well to yourself or to an off balance situation when you have no energy left, no gas in the tank, or whatever that is for you. So for me, it's literally every morning, okay, I know she gets up around this time, so I'm going to get up a little bit early, even though I want to sleep in, do my thing, do my practice, and then go for it, go in there and see what's going on today.
Yeah, and be ready for the day, whatever it brings. Yeah, and I love that, because this is so you. Like, kind of, there are no secrets. Like, don't try to look for the magic solution, the newest trend in whatever, like how to de-stress. Like, there are no secrets in it. It does come down to taking care of yourself, making sure that you get what you need, and taking the time, even ideally at the beginning of the day. So that's, and it's so
free. I think I've always been suspicious too of there's so many cool things you can buy, and fun things and toys and all of that stuff, it can be great. But for me, the things that really help me feel better and help, everything are literally free. You just sit down on the ground, you breathe, when I do that, whether it's in the morning or, if she's for 5 minutes occupied coloring a picture, I can just sit down on the ground and breathe then too. So it's like, okay, bonus time, and then I notice when I do, she colors longer or she's more engaged in that thing. She's feeling better. Then I come up with a little idea. Okay, we can take this little, cardboard box and make something out of it instead of thinking, oh, I should really buy these 10 more things that we really need to have, which I feel like if I'm not connected, my brain could easily go there to that kind of, feeling like you're not doing enough. So you need that kind of outside input so much. So I think the more you take care of yourself, the more good ideas that everybody has. And they're all kind of unique to each of us, which is, again, it's so cool and so, easy, but it's complicated to just do it because it sounds like a trick, just get down on the ground and breathe. That sounds a little bit weird, but if you do it, you feel better.
And what do I do with those voices in my head that start popping up and telling me like, you should be doing this, you have 5 minutes, so you better start running and get as much done as possible.
Yeah. I mean, nothing ever completely gets done, I think, as a mom, for sure. There's always a mess somewhere. There's always 10 things that need to get done. And then there's your whole life, which you have plans for, and you want to do things and you have dreams and goals, or just want to take a shower, whatever that thing is, maybe it's just as simple as that. But really, I think the more, at least for me, and sharing this with people, the more you can have those little bite-sized moments of taking care of yourself, the more you figure out what to do and when to do it, where the priorities are. It doesn't become, doing the dishes and being angry about it. You're like, okay, I can leave that for later. I can do this now and kind of do things a little bit more calmly because you feel calm, not because you're trying to be calm, which is two different things.
Yeah, I'm calm. Yeah, it's kind of meditation.
Chill out.
Yeah, we are laughing about it, but yes, we feel your pain, moms. We've been there as well. We are there as well still. Yes. It's never perfect. It's a journey. Yeah. Tara, it's been so great hanging out with you. But we will be closing this interview. I just have one last question for your last words of wisdom or inspiration that you would like to share with our moms, please.
Oh my gosh. I think it's so important to be present and enjoy, especially now. This is so specific to what's going on now, but, we're not really talking about it so much, but just, having the phone, being online, scrolling, even taking pictures. I noticed when she was a baby, I was taking so many pictures all the time, and she would kind of reach out and not want it to happen anymore. So I still take loads of pictures of her, but I do a lot less holding of the phone when I'm with her, and just holding the phone in general. I feel so much better. So maybe if anybody out there is feeling that kind of extra stress and the phone is in your hand a lot, see what happens if you put it down a little bit, do the things that you want to do on it, and then put it down, take the pictures, take the video, and then put it down. That may be helpful. It's kind of that layer of problem that we're not really even aware of right now, because it's literally just become like part of our hand in a way. So that might be helpful. It was definitely super helpful for me.
Yeah, great advice. Thank you so much, Tara. I thank you so much for the gift of your time, your energy, sharing your presence with us. And I really appreciate you giving us the insights also, how it is behind the scenes of your picture perfect, like a businesswoman, mom, everything Zen, super great. So it's great getting to know you a little bit better as well. Thank you.
Same with you. And we're all doing the best we can. And thanks for helping us all support each other. That's really beautiful and helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Bye.